My name's Matt. This is Procrastination Garage. It's Tuesday morning, and my daughter and I are headed to the mountains. Can you see we're headed to the mountains? Yeah, we're currently stopped in traffic on White Pass. Road construction coming up. Oh, we're going to move here pretty quick because here's cars coming the other way. Anyway, it's going to be a fun day with a side-by-side. It's an area that I videoed before, and we're going back up because there was a tree across part of the trail that was blocking, and so I'm hoping if it's still there, we're going to remove it. Maybe it's already gone. I don't know. We'll see. But it should be a fun day.
Woo! Good morning, besties!
Yep, see, it's true. My daughter's with me. So
it was my idea, actually.
Yeah, on the way up, there was a sign that said, wedding 18 miles. So we might be crashing it if it's there. Who knows? We'll see.
I'm going to put my Crocs in sports mode.
There you go. All right, we're rolling now. We'll catch you in a bit. What do you think, Skeeter? Did we make it to our unload point? Yes, we did. All unloaded, packing up, getting ready to go. Woohoo! Just taking a break along the trail. Little meadow here. Pretty nice spot. It's Wednesday morning, and I need to unload the side-by-side, need to load up the mower, head over to the rental today. But just wrapping up yesterday's ride with my daughter. We had a real good time. Got back to the parking area, I don't know, around 3 o'clock, I guess. Got loaded up, came home. The one thing I can say about yesterday is it was chilly. It felt like fall. I ended up, by the end of the day, I had my my sweatshirt and my windbreaker on and was wearing a pair of gloves. So I'm thinking fall is just about here, and although you guys won't see this then, it is just about the 1st of September. We're still in August, technically, but just a couple days left. So that's it. Moving on to other things. Sorry to interrupt. Hope you're enjoying the video. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and please subscribe, and please tell all your friends. Thanks. It's Thursday afternoon around 3 p.m., and what are we working on for a project? Pop-ups. Yeah, so at the camp out with the Snowmobile Association here 2 weekends ago, we had a freak wind come through late at night and upset all the pop-ups and broke a bunch of the frames. And the two that belonged to the Snowmobile Association were damaged. So I ended up bringing them home, and I'm going to open it up and see if we can make a repair to it. After a quick inspection, the real damage is actually pretty minor. We've got this piece here is broken. It's supposed to come through this spot right here and then hook down there. Now, unfortunately, somebody threw the piece away because I'm not seeing the piece here. It would be easier if we had the piece, I think, because then maybe we could just patch it back together. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to replace it. So I've got to see if I've got something that's either long enough to completely replace it or just a patch. So I guess we'll look into that here in a minute. We've got some other areas that sustained some damage. Plastic caps are busted up here and there, but nothing that's really critical so that I've seen so far. So the only critical repair is that piece there. So let me go see if I can find something to use. The broken one there on top has been removed, and then I removed a matching one from the other side, and that's what we need to duplicate. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to have the 3 mounting holes. Let's see what we can find. Sometimes it pays to be a pack rat. So I've got this aluminum pole here that is too long, and it's nice and lightweight, and it's scrap. It's from some kind of little canopy, and so I'm thinking if I take a big hammer and pound it to get it more into this shape here, then we can drill holes, cut it to length, and it'll be a perfect replacement. What do you think? I've got it cut to length. Now let's take a hammer to it and see if we can make it into a pleasant shape. We're going to call it good enough. All right, I said pleasant shape. Maybe not pleasant, but it should get the job done. Now let's drill some holes in it. Oh, this end here, a little too crushed. I'm going to open that up a little bit. Here's something I discovered that's kind of interesting. You can see there's a washer, and then there's this little plastic piece with little bearings in it, and then another washer right there. And those are all sandwiched together. So it's pretty much a friction-free assembly here. Take a look. All assembled, all fixed. So we'll go ahead and set it up. Now what I don't know is if there's any hole in the canvas top, but I don't think there is. So let me get it set up and I'll show you. As I got this one all set up, I've got a problem right here. The metal, the nut is pulling through the rod there. So we're going to take that piece off, and I think I can just cut the end off and re-drill it and go from there. So I'll do that. And then just about the opposite side, same thing. It doesn't look like it's pulling out, but it's crushed a little bit, the pole. So I'm going to take that one apart and fix it as well. I think what I'm going to do is just pull it apart, cut like ½ inch off, re-drill the hole, and put it back together. There's enough play in these things to where even if they're not all the same length, I think it'll still work. Let me try it and I'll get back to you. There's the bad end of the piece removed. And there's the real problem there, where it's ripped out. So I'm going to cut it off right there and drill a new hole. Just wait and see. I've got the end all cut off. Now let's drill a hole in it. And just like that, there's the hole. Here's the end that I cut, drilled the new hole. You can see the plastic on this piece is broken. Truly doesn't matter. And there it is at the other end. Again, plastic pieces are broken, but they don't, you know, for what we're using it for, it'll be fine. You just want to keep it out of a windstorm. So I'm going to come around the other side and do the same thing with this one, I think. I'm going to tear it apart and see. I might just be able to flip it over. That'd be even quicker if we can do that. I'll let you know. And there you have it, all done. So what do? Well, we replaced that rod there. We took this rod off, cut a little bit off the end of it, put it back together. And then over here on this one, this rod, we just flipped it and added a washer to it. So it's secure enough. It'll go a few more outings at least. You can tell, I mean, can you see there's some little pinholes in it? The thing isn't waterproof. It's mainly for sun protection. So we're good to go. All right, let's get this tore apart. It's Thursday morning around 9:30 a.m. and I'm headed to the mountains solo today. I'm heading up Highway 410 on Chinook Pass. I'm going to go up past Bumping Lake and do some exploring of roads up there to an area I've never been. I've heard there's some decent snowmobiling up there, and then other people say, there's no snowmobiling up there. So that's what we're trying to figure out today, is if there's any reason to go up there with a snowmobile. I'm not sure what to expect road-wise today, so because of that I brought an ATV with me. So we'll drive as far as we can in the tow beast here, and then if it gets narrow or run into some really tough terrain, we'll switch to the ATV. So it should be a fun day. Here we are on Bumping River Road. We'll follow it until we can't go no more. Alright, we've hit dirt. Bumping Lake is over to my right, somewhere back in there. I honestly don't know if this road goes anywhere or if it just kind of goes up around the lake. I haven't looked at a map yet to see where the roads are up in here. I've passed several. I just don't know. We're just exploring. I've never been up here. I've been up to Bumping Lake in the wintertime. Pretty much just turned around, went back. Never done any exploring, so that's what we're doing today. The road has gotten a lot narrower, a little more technical. Mostly it's been wide enough. A couple areas where there's been a little bit of brush, but it's been stuff that I don't think is going to damage the paint. I went real slow through it. Could maybe unload the ATV at this point, but I'm lazy, so we're not going to just yet. We've made it to Fish Lake Way Trail. I thought I was at the end of this leg of the road, but looking at my map, I am not, and I just walked around a little bit and I found the trail, or the road continues out. I just kind of missed it when I made a big U-turn in here. This is a day use fee area. There's where you're supposed to put the money. This here road going up in here was labeled as a place for horse trailer parking. I don't know how many people are dragging a horse trailer in here. This road hasn't been that great. I don't know. Maybe those horse people are more rugged than I thought. I don't know. Let's continue on. Guess I might as well show you an outside view of what we've got here. Tow Beast and yellow ATV. Here we are at the end of the road. This is the start of the Swamp Lake Trail, and you can see there wilderness permit required. So basically not too much farther out of this parking lot you enter the wilderness, which is non-motorized for you that don't know. So you drive out in the middle of nowhere. You think you're all alone, although I did pass one ATV. But look here, I get out here and there's 4 pickups out here, so there's at least 4 people hiking out in the wilderness today. Are they overnight people or just today? Who knows? So a cool little spot. We can snowmobile out to this point here. Can't go beyond this because, like I said, it's wilderness. But it might make a nice little destination. And looking up there through the trees, there's a little outhouse up there. And that one will not be locked, so that'll be accessible in the wintertime. At that last place I stopped, there was a couple of outhouses there, fancier ones. Forest Service may lock those in the wintertime. I don't know. We'll check them out. Anyway, truck's all turned around, idling over there. We're going to head back and follow the next leg. There are about 3 legs that head up into this area, and this was the first one. The next one was about the same length, and then there's one that was a lot longer. It's a little after 11. I'm only going to be out here until, well, 2 o'clock. I need to start heading back. So we'll see how far we get, but pretty neat. Like I said, this is a good area to snowmobile out to. And Bumping Lake is probably just over that way, I don't know, quarter mile, half mile. Haven't been able to see it anywhere, but looking at the map, I know it's not too far away. I almost wonder if we could snowmobile around the lake. I don't know. It'll have to be something we're just going to have to check out this wintertime, but I'm kind of excited about coming up here on snowmobile. I stand corrected. There are 2 outhouses, his and hers.
That's just the surface water.
I know.
Yeah, but if I'm swimming, I'm not going very deep.
I made it up to Granite Lake, and on the way up there were a couple of ATVs that passed me. Woman and a man, and they each had a dog with them. So when I got up the lake, they were there, so I stopped and was talking to them. Nice couple from over on the west side. And hadn't been there more than 5 minutes and heard some vehicles coming up, and 2 Forest Service enforcement vehicles showed up. One was a 3/4 ton Dodge and the other was looked like a 1/2 ton Dodge. Anyway, they got out and came over and were just checking us out, I guess. I mean, they were real friendly and everything, but probably wanted to make sure we were doing what we're supposed to be doing, which I'm not sure what that is. Talked to them for a little bit and then they headed off. Oh, actually, looky there. There's one. I'm in the road ahead of me. It's like a party out here. Now there's a 3rd one. So I talked to those guys again. We were not at the end of the road. Apparently this road goes on up to the top of a ridge, and I guess there's a pretty good lookout up there. And the road just got too rough for me, and I don't feel like unloading the ATV at this time in the afternoon. It's about 1:30 now. So anyway, that's why I turned around and was headed back down. Well, they started down, the two guys that we'd been talking to, and then they ran into their buddy, the third one, who said, oh, you got to go to the top. The view is worth it. So they all are turned around and headed back up again. So I'm kind of jealous, but you know what? I think I've already decided I'm going to put together a side-by-side trip up here soon, because I'm not going to be able to check out the other road that's up here today. And so if I put together a side-by-side trip, we can run this one, clear the top, and then we can also do the other road too. So that'll be kind of fun. Anyway, headed down. I'm running in 4 low. Right now I'm running in low, first gear, low range. And I probably will be in low range until we get back down to that intersection, because this road is just nothing but rocky, and it's not real technical. It's rough, and when you're driving a 1-ton Ford pickup, yeah, you know it. So there you go. Working our way out slowly but surely. We've now got back on I'll call it a smoother road. It's still not very smooth for an F-350, but it's better than the road I was on.
The abortion pill is not outlawed in America. It's not on Twitter. I mean, it all. Commissioner did. The abortion pill is not outlawed in America. It's not on Twitter. I mean, it all. Commissioner did.
It's Friday morning, and figured I'd better wrap up yesterday's trip. So what'd we do? We went up past Bumping Lake. We explored. Think of it as a fork. We came up the main leg. We went to the right, took that branch all the way out to the end, came back down, started up the middle fork, went up as far as the lake, and the road continued on farther, but that road was rough and miserable, as you guys saw. Should have unloaded the ATV at some point, didn't. By the time we got back, it was after 2 o'clock, so I decided to skip going up the other fork, and then came home, and by the time we got home, it was about 4 o'clock. So that was fun. I think I'm going to set up a UTV ride hopefully next week to go up there and explore the other fork and then follow the middle one all the way up to the end. So we'll see. But let's move on to new stuff for today, Friday. So those of you looking for a yard sale update, the big day is finally here. No, we're not having a yard sale. It's the day that I start putting this stuff away. So we had best of intentions of doing a yard sale early summer, but time just got away from us. It wasn't just me, it wasn't just my wife, it was a combination of the two. And while we still could do it going forward, my personal belief is yard sale season is winding down. I don't think we'll get as many customers as we need to get rid of as much junk as we have. I mean, because this is barely any of it. This is hardly even taking stuff out of the container. So let's just call this a practice for next year. So we're going to try again next year. Going to be more organized, I hope. So as much as I hate doing it, I need the shop space back, because as the rainy season is approaching, I want my motorhome back in here. I want my big boat back in here. I just need to do stuff. So what we're starting today is a tear down process. And oh my God, I hate the thought of that. But it'll be a good thing in the end, I think. So what we're going to want to do, probably first thing, is get the tractor out of the way. And then these folding tables, folding shelves over here, they all need to be tore back down. They just fold, and they actually go kind of over where the tractor is. And if I do that, that'll get organization started. And then a lot of these tables are just a piece of plywood sitting on top of some plastic tubs. All those tubs are empty. So It's just a matter of basically just stuffing this stuff in tubs, and I'm hoping to stick it all back behind that tarp there. I'm hoping I've got some room to put stuff back behind where the boat's going to go. And so it won't be such a big chore, but it's going to be a big job. I'm not going to get this done today, but we'll at least get started on it. I'm not going to drag you along through the entire process, but I'll show you a few things as I go along. So you can quit mocking me now. I know we have failed. We will try and do better next year. But you know what? Sometimes life gets in the way. I know you guys all understand that. So let's get started. We've moved on to Saturday morning. What do you think? Can you tell that I've been doing anything down here? I have. It may not be obvious to you, but it's obvious to me. So here's the deal. Got the tarps along the back there removed. Got all these tables that were along that. Everything is boxed up. And I've got all these plastic tubs over here. The idea is that when I back the boat in, I'm going to keep it over just far enough to leave that room over there. So today's job is to get the rest of this boxed up. And then we've got another project we'll be starting, and I'll show you that when it happens. But like I said, I've made some progress. So what do you think now? It's about 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon, and we've got it pretty much whipped into shape. There's all the stuff that I took off the tables. Everything's stacked up against there, and should be able to get the boat in. That right there is our stump grinder for the tractor. So, and it's on wheels. It can roll around as needed, so that's not going to stay there. But pretty much everything else, as you can see, just a straight line down the edge there. So the boat should slip right in there. The stuff that's back in there, I probably want to pull that out so it's not trapped behind the boat. We'll see. Not 100% done. Still kind of have this area here to clean up a little bit. Just some general straightening. Maybe we'll work on that this afternoon, but right now I'm going to go take a lunch break. So there you go. Right there is a row of those bookshelves, those folding bookshelves that I had set up that I took all apart. And on top of them, I have this kind of tabletop. And the problem is I need some support out here at the end because we're kind of floppy. So I just need to put one of those little bookshelves out at the end. Easy enough, right? When we were setting up for the yard sale, one of these bookshelves, as I was putting it together, I discovered was missing this piece here down at the bottom. So this bookshelf right now is laying on its side. It tilts up to the left, and what happens is these shelves, when they come down, they rest on those pieces there. So I need two of them, one for the bottom on each side. So I've removed one of them from right there, and I've got a couple pieces of scrap metal, and the goal is to make something that looks similar to that. Doesn't have to be identical, but it needs to serve the same function. And since it's going to be at the bottom where nobody's ever going to see it, it doesn't have to be an exact replica anyway, because like I said, nobody will ever see it. So let's work on making a couple of those. Between that scrap and that scrap, should be piece of cake, right? For this first one, I don't think we even care that the new one's going to be too wide. The only part that has to match is going to be up here. So if I can drill the two holes in here to match, and then fold the top to match this, I can then do a little grinding to make it match that profile there. And that'll work for one of them, right? Let me do it. That bit is very dull. All right, let's try again. Didn't like the way that thing was lined up. Nice. That's not bad. Okay, what do you think? I had to go back and grind a little bit more on there to fit up in here, but as you can see, it's a good match. That's perfect. And so here's the original. Looks good, right? So now we got to make one more for that side up there. Well, again, we don't care what it looks like because it's going to be at the bottom, hidden from sight. I'm going to go ahead and basically just take it from right about there. So I'm going to use my cutoff wheel. I'm going to cut along that black line up there, up to there, and then we'll drill the holes, and then we'll do the bend, and then we'll grind it down. So let me get my cutoff wheel set up. I'm not going to show you guys. It makes a lot of noise. I'll just show you when I'm done. I've been working on the second one now for probably 45 minutes, and the problem was I was having a hard time drilling through this metal. Kind of a spring steel or something. I don't know. Anyway, I tore up a couple bits before I finally got through it using the drill press. I got the first bend no problem. Trying to make the second bend, and it broke. So there you go. Obviously, that was not a good choice for steel. I should have figured it out when I was drilling the holes, but I'm not that smart. So anyway, I need to find something else and start over. Looking through my metal scrap bin, I found the perfect thing. It is the perfect width already. It's just a touch thicker, but shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the shape up first and then try and drill the holes. And honestly, I may not have a drill bit at this point that'll go through that. If so, we'll have to wait till tomorrow and I'll go buy some new drill bits. But let's get the shape made anyway. And there's the second one. That one actually came together real easily and the drill bit worked just fine. So what do we have here? Pull it there, it's tight. And the one up above is there's just a little bit of play. Can you hear that? But that's fine, that's close enough. So we're gonna call this fixed. We'll take this bookcase and we'll set it over there. And done deal. Okay, that's the end of this episode of Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Trying to do this outro and my friend Bear here was bothering me, so I figured I'd just punish him a little bit by picking him up and holding him because he doesn't really enjoy that. Remember, the number one goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, keep me working down in the shop, out in the yard, over at the rental, or playing up in the hills, which we did a couple times in this video. Down in the comments, why don't you tell me about the project you're working on, or better yet, tell me about the things you're procrastinating about. I appreciate hearing that too. We all do it. Remember, my name's Matt. This is Procrastination. My name's Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage, and we'll see you back next week or real soon. Thanks.